Okay, we already started. Okay, I want to show you something pretty easy. 2 sticks. Is that correct? But it's not actually 2 sticks. I want to show you what 2 sticks can do. If you want to start in this world and you need balance, I will show you how they balance. They start off on a certain degree. 3.75 times 6, okay, times 12. 12 by 3.75. 6 times 7.5 is a 45-degree angle. So Jesus and Mary Magdalene were at this angle, right? Right, you understand? But Jesus' legs came out to here. His feet were here. Were her feet here? If her feet were here, you have to understand that where the pin on the clock would be. At the same time, if this lightning bolt was all the way down here, because it cut off this lightning bolt coming from here. It was the strongest link. This one over here. Whose head was lower to the ground? Mary Magdalene or Jesus? Because the lower the head, the more foot to the ground, the less of the angle. You lower the head, you lower the head, you lower the head, your backbone goes down, your feet go out. Or you can lower the head, but you can keep your feet underneath you. It'll be really impossible. At the same time, if you look at these 2 sticks, they're not the same length. Number 1 was the shortest stick. After that, it was a ball, or they were longer. Or there were many number 1s in all the number 1 positions. So when you broke out number 1, he comes all the way to here. This stick, the first time it comes out, okay, its distance is only to here. Then it goes this way. Then after this one goes this way, the stick that's on the other side of this one going this way is rubbing against this one, transferring this energy over to this energy. Or it wraps it around, whichever way you want to look. At the same time, you have to understand that when they're both sticks are on an angle, right, they both won't, this one will only go out 8 spaces, this one will go out 12 spaces. If you do it like this, and you put them both even at the top, you see the way they're both even at the top now? That even at the top is not a 45 degree, it's a 45-degree angle? No. This is a 45-degree angle. No. This is a 45-degree angle no matter what. I got 2 flats on the bottom. I put 1 flat against the bottom. Okay, I have the 45 angle. Okay, it's the tilt. Sometimes I don't use the right words. It's the tilt. That brings both these sides of the L. You bring both the sides of the L to a V. And look at my head in between. That is the E. L-E. Okay, by doing this from an L to a V. But the V, okay, the tilt of the V, okay, is on a 45-degree angle. First 45-degree angle, letter L. Second 45-degree angle, letter U. Third angle, letter U again. Next one, letter L. You come back to the beginning, it's letter C. Why? Because you did everything you had to do to get to number 3. 1 and 2 is 3, 2 and 1 is 3. So you start off on this angle, you start off with an L with a 45-degree angle in no time, and then you move. 3.75, 3.75, 3.75, 3.75, 3.75, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, bingo, 22.5, 22.5, 15 times 15 equals 22.5, the size of the circle, and the time of the circle is a 22.5 on a 45-degree angle. So every 22.5-degree angles in between every 45. So you go from a 45, or you mark the circle around the 45, taking off 22 to the right and 22 to the left. And the circles go over each other, creating an eye in the circle. So they can transfer the information like passing 2 discs. So remember again, one stick is shorter than the other. We need to, this is a perfect 45. Okay? I know I have it in my stick, I know. It's always a perfect 40, perfect 90 for me. But now I take this 90 and I turn it into a 45. But when I turn it into the 45, one side is not high enough. So I need to lower it a little bit more. Look, now the short side is as high as the high side. Okay, the angle on the 2 sides, what are they now? How much am I leaning on the chair? So I am the E. So I just showed you the V, and the angle for the V is 22, and the 22nd letter is the V. It's 22.5, and it's VE in the E family, 22.5 VE. 15 times 15 is 225. Angling at the V is the center of the circle. So when you put two of them, X marks the spot. 450 degrees per circle. 450 degrees per circle, plus your 90, your BERT is 540 degrees. That they would add on, we went on to the other side. 450 degrees times 8 is 360. Minus the 8 equals to 6, okay? The reverse of 8 is 4433, okay? Which is 8, which makes us now 7.4, or 7'4", which is the moon. Getting this number 7'4" means that our lives, right, in time actuality should be 7.5 times different from what they are. The time clock works at 72. Creation is 3 is 75. Electric and computers. We should be 3/4 times difference the time on the clock. 3/4 times the difference is 3 by 8 is 24, and 4 by 6 is 24. 450 degrees 8 times in a day. 3 hours. That's our clock. So right now our age, right, is 3/4 of our age. If you're 50, you're only 38. Now if you turn it the other way, right? Instead of the other way, it would be 7 times. So if you're 50, you're 350. And this all has to do, so when you spell the L and the O, okay, with my head in the middle is the E, but the L equals AB, Ebola. It's a changing of the what's it called? It's a changing of the element we live in. The computer is changing on us. And they made us not to be compatible with the computer. This is my goal. They made the spirit non-compatible with it, but at the same time they wanted you safe. They wanted you safe, but listen, they built us. They built us. They built us. Okay? We are built. Yes, I was born through my mother, but I have no more freedom. I have no more freedom than a caged animal. I'm born from my mother. What's freedom? Freedom is when I get up in the morning when I want. I go to sleep at night when I want. When I go out onto the street, what is freedom? When I walk out onto the street, I walk around, how are you, what's going on, the whole thing, I shut my mouth, I stay out of the way and mind my own business. Okay? You want me to tell you where we are? I should be watching your back and minding my own business. You should be watching my back and minding our own business. We should learn to communicate and understand about communication. Once you have communication, we're all watching each other's back. Who's taking the watch tonight? Watch all the kid shows, how we were brought up. Watch everything that we were brought up with. It all came back. I saw it in my son. I see it in my kids' children. I remember my first day. I remember the corner of the classroom I sat in. I sat in the corner of the classroom. I took up one corner out of the whole corner. They saved the corner for me in nursery school. You're a bad boy. Go sit in the corner. Oh, boys are bad. You understand? Sticks and stones, the tilt of the earth. Oh, look what time it is. It's 45 minutes before, and it's 45 minutes after the number in between. Hey! It all goes around. My God, my God. I should only put the two sticks together and ask them which way I'm going, but I tilt them up. I only have 120 degrees to work with. Oh no, 120. Look at this. 120, 120. Isn't that Mercedes sign pretty cool? It sticks up like this at 120, 120, 120, right? But this way over here is still 120. It's 120 apart on the bottom. It's 120 apart on top. It's 120 apart on the bottom. My body, on the bottom is my body. On the top is my head. So when they show you this sign in the Da Vinci Code, this is my head. This is my body. Okay? Now the question is, am I upside down? Can't take that. In fact, maybe I'm supposed to be on this angle. Cheese. Cheese. What angle of the camera are you on? You want to know about bipolar? Smoke weed and normal. Smoke weed and normal. Smoke weed and not normal. Smoke weed and not normal. Normal, not normal. Smoke weed and normal. Don't smoke weed, you're insane. The marijuana is the link to the other side of our minds. It's supposed to be a supplement. You're not supposed to be smoking big old joints and getting real stoned. It's supposed to be a supplement to open you up. My friends, we must find the reality and the truth. Is the understanding of the differences in the perception is high and above and beyond what the actual reality is. It's our communication tactics. Look at Bell Telephone, how it works. Look at all these big companies. Check out how these big companies work. We should be working ISO just like them, but free. Free. I pick up the phone, I call, I don't get an answering machine, I get a lady and I say, hi, how are you? I can't talk to her about the whole afternoon. She's got a job to serve. She's here to help me in customer service. Okay, let's get on with it. I understand we're not to be rude, but we're not going to call names and say thank you every single time, but I understand the difference because you're so kind, I hear it in your heart. Marijuana, after a certain amount of time, really doesn't. I mean, look at the Jamaicans. You must go to where it comes from. Go to the mountains of the Himalayas. Go to the Jamaicans. You want to study? Don't get an urban study. You go get a study in the jungle for an animal, right? You don't come to the city to study an animal. You go to the jungle to study an animal. You go to the jungle to study an animal. You don't study any kind of medical marijuana or any kind of marijuana in a city. You go to a jungle and you go to a Jamaican. See how his tactics are. See how his kids are. You see, when you smoke marijuana and you slow down, you get one job done at a time. You start 3 jobs. You leave one for later. But you're always on the go doing something you know for yourself. You're relaxing, you're high, but that's the ear in the sky because you're on the other side of your mind. You don't have to be on this side of your mind. We were made to understand the spirit, to just move over and get into the garden, to love the earth of the food it's going to give me, not for 99 cents, to love my money. I need to love my money, but if I got in the garden, I would love my children. My children would see what has to be done to get that money that you love, to have all the extras. It all starts from the ground up. Raphael 72:86, from the house of justice. I call thy name, he cometh. He cometh for all we call thy name. I readeth in the top Torah, in the Bible, he said it of this, and it was this, and it happened, and then it was gone, but still we were lost. Bipolar communication, exaltation, to exalt oneself, to proceed. Bipolar, sure. ADHD, I just received the letter. I'm ADHD, bipolar, because why? I don't have the time for the bullshit. And sometimes I go a little fast because I never knew what it was. Never know what something is. Never get the energy of that light where you start to see clearly now. And everything is truth. Everything is truth. And all you want to see is truth. And you can see the lies. The lies. Everybody's lying to each other. But yet we need to advance. And some of the stuff is not an actual lie. These are just some of the stuff I've done in the last 10 years. And I've got 1,000 more. And they're tattooed all over this place I live. I tattooed everything. This whole place, this is where I live, my friends. And this is my tattoo. Okay? You want to tattoo your arm, you tattoo your arm. I tattooed my apartment. That's the windows outside. And then you've got into that room. I tattooed that room. You'll get to see that one day. And then I tattooed that room over there. We're just going to leave it at this. Yeah, I got the ceiling too. And I got the floor. I've got, I tattooed that. This is the roulette table. It can be done in 3D, but we're not doing anything in 3D. So remember, if you're bipolar, ADHD, okay, you have a compulsion to do something, okay? Try and understand what the compulsion is that you want to do. Because yes, you are getting an energy force. Your wind tunnel is open to the other side. You can no longer close it. That's why they say bipolar is forever, because it's true. The wind tunnel is open, my friends. You're the luckiest people in the world. You are 5% of the truth of what you can't understand. because then nobody else can understand. But I can tell you, after 10 years in this world, it's all about love and compassion and understanding and being happy. It's about being happy and joyous. You have to be joyous, and you can't ponder and always be, oh my God, this, and oh my God, that, because it just opens the worry warts. And the warts, they grow upon your mind, and it's only within your mind you get the thought of the satisfaction of what you want more than anything else, and not anybody else. It's an orgasm in the mind 24 hours a day. What do you do? Where do you go? You go to work, 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 work. But you want to think, 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 think. You got other things on your mind, and oh my God, I can't concentrate. I need a beer. I need a joint. I need to slow down. So you get Mary Jane. Mary Jane should have opened that wind tunnel from day one. You should have been smoking as a baby. But they say, don't smoke, don't smoke. Do you know why they don't let you don't smoke, don't smoke? Because it's a little bit like a moss, and it grows on you, and it's a cobweb. Eventually, you can't think at all. So you eat properly, you don't take too much of it, and you make sure that cobweb is slowing down the spirit matrix and catching it on the roll, seeing all the jokes and all the information. All of a sudden you feel like a smart guy. You haven't read a book, you haven't said a word to anybody, you have nothing to prove. Giggle in your head, imagine in your head, but when you're in a car, you sit in that seat and everything is gone. There is no other world. There's only the soul world. Do you know what it is when you're drunk and stoned and all of a sudden something important happens, all of a sudden you're awake? As long as you're not intoxicated. Intoxication means, okay, I don't have my plug-in. If you don't have your plug-in, you don't have your plug-in, but you should never take your plug out. That's one thing you want to remember. Don't unplug yourself. Don't overdrink. Don't overdo anything. And when you do it, enjoy the moment for what it is. You can reflect on things. It's fine to reflect on things, but correct them. Hear what others have to say. Be patient with others. But again, the communication, understanding, lifting your hands. Breaker 10-4, breaker 10-4. There's a code for communication everywhere. We must drop the ego and learn to live with the code. There's only one code, 101. I go to 8, you go to 8, we go around the round table, we service each other, we go back, we share. But when you plug in, okay, for your side of 4 feet of the LED, you plug in for the whole side of the 4 feet. So you're the master. You're the one on top, the head. Everybody else is the middle, and then there's the tail. The tail and the head. The head plugs into the tail plugs into the head. We're all hooked up. Mary Jane, let's go home. The final chapter, bipolar, my friends, my friends. ADHD, give them the pills. Have you read history? Have you read history of cities? I just read the history, I didn't read it, I listened to it. The history of Brooklyn, the history of this, the history of the park down in Brooklyn, in Maryland. Listen to what happened and what they did. They brought people from all over. They spread them around. They sprinkled you like salt and pepper all over the place. They sprinkled you like salt and pepper all over the place. Do you know what that means? There's 3 holes in the salt. There's 5 holes in the pepper. There's 5 holes in the pepper. Okay? There's 3 holes or 2 holes in the salt. Don't you see? Salt, okay? Check the number of holes on your salt and pepper shaker, because we'll see how the mix and match about the white and the black come in here. And we might be talking about the extra salt on our pineal gland from all the salt and all the food. When I talk salt, I talk all the food. When I talk salt, I talk road salt. Then I talk the salt that we take. We rust all our stuff. What is it? Do we need to salt? If we need to salt, what kind of metals are in our body that needs to be broken down in our foods? What needs to be broken down that we're not taking? You see, it's a whole big scam. Our body's a scam. We don't know what we're actually doing with it. You know, we can take further process, but then your brain won't further process. Then your body will die off at 70 years old. Oh, look, he lived till 130. Sure. He knew the manana of the earth. He was the bread of the earth. He was exactly the earth. You relax the earth to grow, you throw in lime to kill it. But it's fermentation in the earth that actually gives it its own life, because it's like moss. So get back to the marijuana. The Jamaicans, they smoke. So a lot of these guys, they're born with that moss. Okay, I want to know how many Jamaican families, okay, I want to know what the hair looks like on a Jamaican in the last 1,000 years. I want to see the hair. I want to see what happened, and I want to know the first time they smoked, okay? Because I guarantee you, I can almost guarantee you, they are more from the spirit side. They're a leftover from the spirit side, and they're not from here. In fact, I think the island people are all from the spirit side, all of them. I think they brought those islands here for the spirit. They weren't even supposed to be here. They were supposed to be minding their own business on their island and leaving the mainland away, not to get into the mainland for any reason. And they knew not to get into the mainland, otherwise they wouldn't have been on an island. They got off of the mainland to get onto the island. They said the mainland is not safe. I don't know, 400, 500, 1,000 years ago. I don't know. But the island people came onto the mainland. What did they say? Be happy, right? Just be happy. Understand, be happy. Study our words. Study the words we use, the terms. Raphael 7286 and a constellation of Pegasus. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure without any numbers, right? Studying the world, seeing it through numbers, understanding it through numbers. And now I'm telling you the words from what I saw, what I see, and what I will continue to see deeper into the numbers, the more I will see each and every country, each and every word, each and every angle of each and every letter, of each and every point, of each and every level of 360 degrees, squared in on 90 and 45 degree angles, living circles over circles, and knowing every single corner, and how the cap of the eye of every single circle is a cap of the eye, because the circle is round. You put a cap on it on this side and you bring a point. You put a cap on it the other side, you can bring it a point. You can put 4 caps, but you only put 2, because the eye is the showing of 2 circles together. So you show 2 caps. You have the cap here, and then you have the cap here. That's the 2 eyes. Now, I'm just trying to see. So then you have the circle for the eyeball. You understand? The eyeball is round, but this one is 2 circles. 2 circles over this one, 2 circles over this one. Then you have this one here, this one here. Then you have this one here, and this one here. Okay? These 2 here are your 3 and 7 that you run in low shoe, or 4 and 6. This one here is 1, 5, and 9. To this side, this side, this side, this side, 1, 5, 9. Then this side, this side, this side is 3, 5, 7. The 5 over here, 3, 4, 7, 6. Right here, 3, 4, 7, 6. The gold is right here. The problem is right here, my friends. Right here is the connection, right here. Surrounding size of the moon is right over here. Now, either this is blocking these 2, which is no, because 1 is always 1, okay? These 2 are being blocked. This is being blocked to these 2. We're not seeing the 2 sides properly. You see the 2 sides of the color of my face? I don't even know why it's like that. Doesn't change. Look. Is it funny that it doesn't change? Oh, now it does. You see it changes this way? But look at the color of my head. Isn't that weird? It's almost like teaching me. Maybe it's my camera. No, it's not. What if I come a little closer? How about my hand? See my hand? It's different. But my hand, this hand here, is lit. But the opposite side of my face is lit. See the angles of your hand? You see the angle of my 2 hands? The lunar on the moon, the light, because of the curvature in my head, because of the bump in my head over here, it shows the dark side. And what is the angle of the bump inside of my head? So when I turn my head this way, you see the line follows? See the line? Dark. Sun comes up, taking a shave, taking a shave, taking a shave, and sun goes down. It's pretty weird, eh? There's a lot of things to learn, my friends. Little stupid little things, irrelevant. That's a dummy. Don't tell me you're stupid. You're an idiot. We're all freaking idiots out here, right? Like we all know. One man comes to judge the life of another. One man. It should be 1,000 men that show up to judge, not 1 man and 10 men chosen. Wrong. We should be judging online But the only time you see truth is when you see truth of the courtyard. You make a courtyard for 20,000 people. In fact, you make an arena. You put 20,000 people in the arena. First, you judge every person that comes in, and then you choose who can make it or not. You put 20,000 seats in the arena. One guy comes up for whatever crime he has committed, and let the public decide on what went wrong with this guy or this woman. Let the public of 1,000, not one judge, but of 20,000 people that come in there for $1 each or $5 each. If they really want to judge, okay, I know we have to spend a little money, but things cost money. They all pay $5 each to come in to judge one person, and they can judge all day for the same $5. Okay? And it'll take 5 minutes to tell a whole story. You understand there's the truth and there's the lie. Either you paid the parking meter or you didn't. Is there an excuse? Well, you know what? We shouldn't even have parking meters, and maybe we should have cars all day or cars not in the right, but that has to be another correction. So we come into this kangaroo court, we get everything out into justice, we tear up that thing, the love. You guys got love. You did it for the money. You did it for the money. I want to open up a company like J.R. Reynolds and tell all my employees, you know what? Whoever's in debt, I'm paying off all your debt. But in exchange, you lose all your credit cards, okay? And I'm going to be speaking to the bank about all of you. No one can get a loan. If anybody gives you a loan, never pay the loan, because I'm telling you, no one in the world should. I will make an announcement. I'll clear everybody's debts, and I'll give the same amount of money to the people who are not in debt. I'll give you a 6-month advance in salary just in case I have to close down, because I have to slow down the operations now, I want to tell you, because there's 2 contracts I cannot complete. Because in my solely heart, in these contracts, I'm building wheels for cannon bombs. I'm not into the justice of wheels and cannon bombs. I'm not a cannon bomb builder. If we would not build for money these arms in the arm race, then we would not have this arms. But it's the individual for money that built it for the money and not for the truth within its heart. So we left our hearts for the money tree. And money grew and grew and grew forever. And it contaminated us with green. So instead of marijuana putting us on both sides and understanding when you get into the car, it's the car. It's light. It's reality. You stay away from the other world. You come back to this world. Raphael 7286. You have to know when to go and when to come back. Okay? Just because I became drifted onto the other side of the board of the mental capacity, all of a sudden they got rules and regulations for us. All of a sudden we're completely different. ADHD, oh my God! Oh my God, ADHD, look! I couldn't stop! I'm sorry, I couldn't stop. I'm out of order. I'm out of order. Oh my God, my whole apartment, what happened to it? Welcome to Mr. Tattoo. Welcome to Mr. Tattoo.